There's some juicy drama within the Trump camp, and apparently it involves Kellyanne Conway, who did a lot of Trump's dirty work during the election. Now, Kellyanne Conway is a senior advisor for Donald Trump and was his campaign manager during the election, but she hasn't been named in any real cabinet positions, and some are arguing that she's a little bitter about it. At the same time, Donald Trump is flirting with the idea of naming Mitt Romney Secretary of State. And Kellyanne Conway is not too happy about it. In fact, she had some strong words about it during a recent interview. Take a look.
I only wish Governor Romney had been as critical of Hillary Clinton and her policy positions. I'm all for party unity. I'm a big party unity person. And look what Donald Trump's done. He's got Nikki Haley in the cabinet, UN ambassador, daughter of Indian immigrants. He's met with Ted Cruz. He's taken calls from Mitt Romney, from Jeb Bush, from John Kasich, from Carly Fiorina. I think he's working with Speaker Ryan. Reince Priebus, the RNC chairman, is now his chief of staff going into this new White House. So we're all for party unity. I don't think a cost of admission for party unity has to be the Secretary of State position.
Oh, she don't like that.
Yeah.
That video was so good.
So I was on that show. So I was waiting in the green room and we're watching all the different interviews that Martha Raddatz is doing before us. And then regular fare, and you got Ted Cruz, you got Bernie Sanders and stuff. And then Kellyanne Conway came in and she started throwing bombs, right? And everybody in the green room was like, what? What did she just say?
Yeah.
Did she just say that? Because it is very unusual for the person who was just a campaign manager for the president-elect to turn around and say, what the hell is the president-elect doing?
Yep.
No, don't pick that guy as not just a lower-level cabinet guy, Secretary of State. And that was some serious drama right there.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. By the way, my favorite part of that interview was when she was listing all the things that she finds wrong with Nikki Haley, and then she's like, daughter of Indian parents, Indian immigrants. Like, why is that even relevant? By the way, I'm not a fan of Nikki Haley, but I wouldn't list daughter of Indian immigrants as one of her downsides, right?
Yeah.
Anyway. She's bitter. She wants a position, and yeah, she's throwing bombs, and apparently the Trump campaign or the Trump camp is not too happy about it.
Okay, before we get to that reaction, I'm going to tell you that there's actually a couple of other reasons why she might be doing this. Let's watch their reaction, and then I'll tell you the three layers of this particular audio.
All right, so a bunch of Trump aides apparently contacted MSNBC, Morning Joe to be specific, which prompted Mika Brzezinski to say the following.
Two sources at the top of the Trump transition team confirmed to MSNBC that they spoke to the president-elect today and that Donald Trump was, quote, furious at Kellyanne Conway's comments on Sunday, suggesting Trump betrayed his supporters by even considering Mitt Romney for a position in his cabinet. Kellyanne went rogue at Donald Trump's expense at the worst possible time, a source familiar with Trump's thinking said. Trump's top aides said they were, quote, baffled by Conway's comments and suggested that it feeds into a growing concern inside the campaign that, quote, instead of driving Donald Trump's message, she's pushing her own agenda.
Now, look, this is very bold by her because, yes, obviously it's going to piss off a lot of people because she's doing it super public. That is not normally how you do politics. You do it behind the scenes. For when she says Governor Romney in the last 4 years, has he been around the globe doing something on behalf of the United States of which we're unaware? That's really strong language. So one hit after another, and it wasn't just the ABC interview. She also did a CNN interview where she hit him. So I think that this is not about Kellyanne Conway. She's not up for Secretary of State. So when I saw this, I said, this is so bold. You don't risk your career over this unless the people backing your career have your back, that they sent you to do this. So let me break it down for you. Could it be that she's just like gone Trump, right? Ironically, right? Like, I had enough of this, man.
Yeah.
They didn't even give me education secretary. So yes, that's possible. But then I thought, no, more likely there's a bigger power player here. Who wanted Secretary of State? In the beginning it was Newt Gingrich. By the way, Newt Gingrich has also publicly condemned Mitt Romney and has spoken out against him. Okay, but lately it appears that it's between Giuliani and Mitt Romney. And I thought, what kind of favor did Giuliani do for Kellyanne Conway that she's going to risk her entire career for Giuliani? That doesn't make sense, okay? There's no favor that big that Giuliani could do for her. Then I thought, no, it's the people backing Giuliani, right? So there's a whole donor infrastructure here. You never hear about it on TV. But the people who put Kellyanne Conway into the Trump campaign in the first place, they're the Mercer family. They were the largest donors to Ted Cruz, then they were the largest donors to Trump. It's Robert Mercer, who works at a hedge fund, and his daughter, Rebecca Mercer. So I believe that it is the Mercers, for whatever reason. And that's a good question as to why they don't want Mitt Romney, right? But they've never liked the establishment. That's not why they back Cruz. That's why they back Donald Trump, okay? And for whatever reason, they've decided they're the guys who, when they gave money to Trump, they said, you're going to take two guys with you. That's when they got rid of Manafort. And two people that they gave him were Steve Bannon and Kellyanne Conway. They were literally in the suite at the RNC all together, the Mercers and those two, and then the coup happened, they took over for Manafort. So now Kellyanne Conway, all of her bills get paid by those guys. She's not going to go against the real boss. So that is what's happening here, I think, that you're seeing, but it's the Mercers publicly saying, I believe. And it could be the other two options. I'm giving you all the options here. But what I don't want you to think is that, oh, money has nothing to do with it. No. The Kellyanne Conways of the world, they're not the bishop, the knight, or the rook. They're the pawn. And so and you think Trump, oh, well, he's the king. No, he can only move one step at a time, okay? The real power players are the Mercers and the other donors. So they're having a public spat here. And so it's not going to get public until they must have felt like, oh my God, he's going to pick Romney. We got to go nuclear. Kellyanne, hey, remember who got you into Trump in the first place. Get in there and mess this thing up.
Oh, disaster.